So one of my first questions
By the
is,
way, I noticed today when you had Pop's information up there, he was 69 when he died, and I turned 69 this year.
oh my
Praise
God.
God.
Yeah.
There's so many parallels
Yeah.
that we're finding this during this family reunion. That's one of them. So I didn't get a chance to meet Grandpa John, but I want to know, Grandma, how did you meet your husband,
Well, that's a
Grandpa?
long
You got time?
story. You got the time. Okay, I was going to work, and I was going to catch a cab. Well, cab went by on 22nd Street, so I went down there to catch a cab
In St. Petersburg?
in St. Petersburg, Florida. And a friend of mine, he had just came out to the wall at the Odom, He saw me sitting on the bench waiting on the cab, so he came and was talking to me. And John drove by. He had just got out the service of the lawyer, and he was riding by in his car, and he knew my friend, and he stopped. He was talking to him. Then he went down the street and turned around and asked Howard, say, "Who is that?" And he told him my name and everything. And he said, "Where's she going?" So we said, "She's going to work." And he said, "Tell her I'll take her." So he did. He come like that. So Howard said, "Oh, that's John Odom, one of the Odom boys." So I said, "Well, I know one of them. One of them was in my class, the baby boy." So
Who's that?
I got
Ray?
over
Ray.
Ray, yeah, that was.
Okay.
I mean, not Ray. And so he took me to work, and then he was saying, "You would like to see me." Well, I said, "Well, aren't you married?" He said, "No." I said, "Now, one of those boys married." He said, "You grinned and told me, yeah, that's me." We ain't getting along. So we've been out 1 or 2 times. So that's how I met him.
Met Grandpa John. So he just you were just a striking beauty. He had to turn his car around.
Oh, Lord.
That's what it sounds like. That's what
He
it
turned
sounds
the
like.
car around and come back and asked him, who is that?
That's good. And Uncle Don,
One
this is
of my classmates before I went and served.
this is in St. Pete,
Mm-hmm.
St. Petersburg, Florida. Okay. So you fast forward. So you and Grandpa John have all these beautiful children. Uncle Donald, Auntie Jeb, my dad, Kay, Joy, and Mary also, right? Mary was.
Mary was Mama's.
Oh, your sister.
My sister.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
she's my sister.
Well, I have a question about everyone's name. So how did you choose like Uncle Donald's name? How do you choose Auntie Jeanette's name?
Okay. John McDonald, she was the first one. And my mama named him Donald. And John's brother that got killed in the service was named Ray. So she named him Donald Ray. That's how you got to be Donald Ray.
Okay.
Do you know why she picked Donald? Did she know someone
Well,
else named
because-
Donald?
Well, I think it was Bunny. She was like to look at Donald Duck.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I'm sorry I asked.
Wow. So Auntie Bonnie had a hand in naming Uncle Donald.
I guess so.
So she was like 5 at the time.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, so that reminds me. So we have Uncle Donald. What about Auntie Bonnie? So why did you choose Bonnie or Bonita for?
Bunny's dad got killed.
Okay.
He was dead.
Why did you name her that?
What?
Bonita.
Bonita? Well, Bonita's what's her godmother was my hairdresser. And before Bonnie was born, she said, "I want to name the baby." So I said, "Okay." So she named her, my hairdresser.
Your hairdresser named Auntie Bonnie.
She was her godmother.
All right. That's why Auntie Bonnie's wigs are always laid. Auntie Bonnie was tight. All right. What about so who's next in line? I guess my dad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Alvin, how did you choose the name Alvin?
Mama named him too.
You know why?
I don't know why she picked Alvin.
Don't say that.
Maybe it was Alvin the Chipmunks. It was Donald Duck. Maybe Auntie Bonnie had a hand in my dad too. I was wondering where my name came from, Alvin Jr. So, okay.
What's her name? She Candy. She used to love to look at Donald Duck. The cartoon. She loved it.
Bonnie.
One of them
Bonnie. Okay, so Kay. So how do you name
Now
it?
you skipped me.
Oh, you before Kay?
Uh-huh.
All right, Johnette.
My mama named her Johnette, and her dad's mama was named K-Mine, but she thought it was,
No, that's Kay.
oh, that's fake.
John and I was thinking about the daddy.
Oh, yeah, Johnette Catherine, and her.
Yeah,
You name her,
John,
I think,
your daddy and my mama, Johnette Catherine.
Okay.
I didn't know your mother's name was Catherine.
but it's spelled K-T-H-R-Y-N.
Okay. And then,
Okay.
so we got, my dad was, again, great grandma Catherine. And then just have Joy. Bless. So,
Kay, she gonna get you.
ooh. I thought we said Kay.
No, you said, we started out with
Oh,
Kay.
sorry. How did Auntie Kay get her name?
Let me see how Kate got Kate now. Oh, after my husband's mama, her name was, I saw you that though, didn't I?
We started.
Say it one more
Started,
time.
but you didn't finish.
Well, her name was
Human.
Q-Mine, but mama thought it was K. And she named her K. And I put the castle on there.
No, okay, Lois.
Oh, Lois, mama did that, K. Lois.
After you.
Yeah, Lois after me.
Okay. So Grandma Catherine wanted to say, sounds like honor, Grandpa John's mother, and instead of saying Q mine, just K. Okay. And then you know about Auntie Johnette,
Right.
named after her daddy.
Johnette.
And then Sonia Joy.
Sonia.
Where'd that name come from?
Sonia, let's see. Did I say you?
Yeah, you said me.
Who? George, who named George? Sonia, I forgot who named George. Where's George? Does she remember? Do you remember who named? You remember?
Auntie Joy said she was adopted.
Oh, shut up.
I remember when Mama went to the hospital to have you, so I know you weren't adopted. But I do remember the Joy dish detergent. They used to have the commercial on TV, and the tagline was "Let Joy do the dishes." So we used to, our chores, we took time, turns rotating to do the dishes. And so whoever turned it was, Mama would say, Donna, go do the dishes. And we'd always say, let Joy do the dishes.
She was made for dishes.
Yeah, right.
Okay, we'll come back. We'll come back to Auntie Joy's name. I want to move on to something else, and I asked you this last time, but I want to know where were you born, and what do you remember? What do you remember about that
I don't
place?
remember nothing about that. I was born in a little town, they called it Lofton, right out from the big city, but it's not there anymore. They took the name off of Lofton. So I always tell people I was born in Lake City.
In Lake City, okay. Lake City, Florida. And tell us your parents' names again.
Carol's name is Martina Bell, is my daddy, and Catherine Bell is my mommy.
And I think Grandma Catherine's maiden name was Goodman.
Goodman, yeah.
Catherine Goodman. All right. This is where I was going with this, but you didn't have any siblings, right? Or you?
Yeah,
you
I had
one?
a sister. She was 3 years older than me. Her name was Mary, but she died when she was 5.
Okay. You know what she died from?
No, do you remember what it was hearing about that?
I don't
It was
know.
some kind of childhood disease we had. And,
Uh-huh.
and the doctor right then didn't know what to do.
Okay. Do you remember any of your aunts and uncles? Do you have any special times with your aunts and uncles, either from your dad's brothers and sisters or your mom's?
I can remember I used to go visit them. My daddy's people was in Titusville, and we used to go visit them a while. And then my mama's people was in Lakeland, Florida. And we used to go visit them sometime.
Where is Titusville in Georgia or Florida?
Florida.
Up near Cape Canaveral.
Okay. Do you remember what you used to do? I mean, did you guys do like fishing or anything fun that you do in Titusville or? When you went to visit your aunts and uncles in Titusville, did you do anything fun? Did you do like fishing or?
Oh, I was too little like that. I didn't know. You didn't do anything but go get and go back home.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we hear all these.
I'm interested, how did you go? Did y'all have a car or did you
Yeah,
take the train?
Daddy, right? No, we didn't have a car
Okay.
from St. Pete to Tylerville.
That was before the
And
interstate,
then
so
they-
that probably took a while.
No, Daddy had a car. Daddy always had a car.
Okay.
So I hear all these stories about one of Grandpa's brothers, Uncle James. What do you remember about Uncle James? I heard Uncle James used to be real free. He didn't like, Uncle James didn't like wearing clothes. Is that right?
James Odom, yeah.
What about it now?
Yeah, I heard Uncle James, he used to, sometimes he'd like take his shirt off, take his pants off, just hang out in the porch.
Oh, yeah, he did, but I didn't ever see that.
Thank goodness.
But he used to tell us about it. It'd be hot in the house. He'd go on the porch and I could sit on the porch. It was at nighttime though.
Oh, it was nighttime?
Yeah, at night now. He didn't do that in the daytime.
Okay.
He did it at night.
See, he was of sound mind, it was hot.
Yeah, it was hot.
He was
just
eccentric.
hot.
He was eccentric.
Yeah, I don't know about it. You could nobody drinking now.
Well, I guess, so Uncle Don, do you have any stories or memories of your uncles then? So James or AC?
You know, all of them, except for Uncle Ray, who died in the war before I was born. But Uncle James was very eccentric. He worked for the post office. He didn't drink. He liked women. He liked cigars, and he liked gambling.
And they like
He
cigar.
liked gambling most of all. And
Oh, yeah.
his preferred gambling was dog race.
Oh, okay.
But he was a sweet guy, nice guy. He would always come by Grandma's house. He'd always bring something like fruit or a watermelon or something. And when he got around all of the kids, he'd always pass out dollar bills to all of us. And so he was a really nice, kind, gentle man. But
And
he
this
was
was-
very eccentric.
Which uncle was this?
James.
Uncle James.
Yeah.
What about you, Auntie Johnette? Do you remember AC or Uncle James?
Uncle James, when I was in South Florida in Tampa, he would come pick me up and bring me to Grandma's house in St. Pete or take me back. So, and I would, he would, if you asked him to do something, he would. That's what I remember about him.
Yeah.
That's about the time I spent with him when I was at South Florida. Those 4 years, he would help him and his wife.
That's a pretty formative time of your life, though. I mean, that's good that you can remember that. You know?
I ain't that old.
What? No, I'm talking about because just being in college, there's some uncles that I just didn't have a chance to know on my mother's side. So the fact that you were in college and had a chance to have memories, like Uncle Don was probably the only uncle that I had that I just have memories with.
Uncle James was my father, John's twin brother.
Yeah,
They were fraternal twins. They didn't look anything at all alike, but they were twin brothers.
Oh, okay. So I always thought they maybe were identical, but fraternal twins. Okay.
And I know of at least 3 sets of twins in our family.
Oh man, somebody's on deck.
Yeah.
Somebody's on deck for some twins. I don't know who it is. All right. So I had a question for you, Grandma. So what are you thankful? What are you thankful for? You lived a long life and have much
thankful
more
for
to
that.
go.
I'm thankful for my mom and my dad. They were so good. And thankful for my good friends that I had. I had good friends. And thankful that I've never been hungry in my lifetime.
Never been hungry in your life.
Nope. I always had food. You always had food. We didn't have no money. But we had enough to buy food.
That's important.
Bless.
So you grew up in the South
Yeah.
in some very trying times. So what was it like growing up in the South?
Well, you know how it was when black people couldn't do this and black people couldn't go in the store and eat the counter and all that kind of stuff. And then on the bus, they had to sit in the back of the bus, black people, they're in the back. What else on?
Couldn't go in the restaurants. You could go to the back window. I think sometimes you could take out. I remember this. That didn't change until the mid-60s, some of that.
What about the fountains, John? Couldn't
What?
drink out of fountains,
Yeah,
certain
like
fountains.
public water fountains, white water fountains. Traveling was always a big issue because you couldn't stop at gas stations and use the bathrooms. They had to bring your lunch box, you know, with the fried chicken in there because you couldn't go to the restaurants. So yeah, I remember, you know, some of that from my childhood.
Grandma, did you see any just like bad things or things you wish you hadn't seen during that movement at all?
No, I never did see anything like that.
That's good.
Glad of that.
That's good. So I imagine there's a lot of people that maybe you look to for strength or that you admired. Who were some of the people that you know what, I want to be like that person, or you know what, that person is inspiring to me? You think of anybody back from that time?
No, I can't think of that one. I don't know.
I think last time we talked, there was maybe a teacher
Like a teacher, oh.
that you that helped you a lot.
Yeah, I had a Mr. Neal, a teacher, and he was a very good teacher. And he was the only one that I went to take type lessons. So he started a little typing thing, but it didn't last too long because he couldn't get invited to type. I think it was 3 of us.
I mentioned to you earlier that I had some of the same teachers that she had when I went to high school. Mr. Neal was still teaching when I was in he never taught me, but he was still teaching.
And he was the best school bus driver.
Right.
You know that?
I don't know that, but now wasn't your cosmetology teacher still teaching me years when I was there? What was her name? The woman that
Oh, Miss Reed.
I think she was still.
Miss Reed.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she had 2 kids, a girl and a boy. And the boy was named, what was his name?
I don't know.
Johnny Reed. And I didn't have any brother and sister. And he had 1 sister. So, and then he said, I'll be your brother. You don't have any. And then a friend of mine said, I'll be your sister, Marjorie.
Marjorie Howard?
Yeah, Marjorie Howard. And we would be together all the time, we 3. Because then I had a brother and sister.
Yeah. So Uncle Donald mentioned cosmetology school. So you went to cosmetology school, or was this in high school?
Johnny,
It was in high school, vocational
Yeah,
part of the high
vocational.
school.
And Johnny's mama was a teacher, Miss Reese. The one that said, I'll be your brother. His mother taught. She taught at a vocational school. And his dad went to tailor me. He had a tailor too.
So in high school, Grandpa John had, you said,
It was a vocational school. They
Okay.
built the vocational school out.
and he learned to be a tailor, or he could learn that trade?
Yeah, he learned he was learning to be a tailor, but he didn't finish.
I never knew that.
You didn't?
No.
Well, most all the boys that came back from the war wanted to do something. They went out to the vocational school.
Was that a part of Gibbs or that was
Uh-huh.
separate from Gibbs?
It was on Gibbs campus.
Oh,
No.
okay.
Wow. So he had a trade, or he was working on being a tailor, but he didn't end up that way in his profession, right? So what did Grandpa John do for his profession?
But I don't know what he did before, but about 30-something years, wasn't it?
Yeah, 40 years, he was
40
a bartender.
You ready to point of view to being a bartender?
Okay. And where did you work around that time?
Oh, well, I was a beautician, and then I worked to the hairstyle school.
So you like cosmetology?
Work at the hospital and elevator.
Oh, yeah, I was the elevator operator at the hospital.
An elevator
That's when
operator.
they had operators in. And I was
Yeah,
at
you don't remember
Mount
that.
Park
Now you just
Hospital.
press the button, but they used to have people that physically
Yeah, I
operate.
had to have to whoop, you
Yeah.
know, push a button to go up, and then I had to open the door and all that kind of stuff.
Oh wow.
So they hired operators.
That's pretty interesting. I never knew that.
Did you also do cleaning work, maids work,
Oh, yeah.
That's a domestic
That's
issue.
domestic, yeah?
Yeah, domestic. Miss Wall and what's the other painter name?
Strong.
With some, he had all this,
Strong.
southern, land in Georgia.
Strong.
Strong. You remember Strong?
I never met them, I heard you talk about them.
Yeah, you supposed to cover us the wall. You know, I could never talk to him, you know, I tell him I'd be like some of them did. So one day Mr. Wall say, Lois, you got any children? I said, yeah. And I told him, and I said, my oldest son is named Don. Well, what did he do? I said, he's going to school to be, he was a lawyer. I said, he's going to school, college to be a lawyer. A lawyer? I said, yes, a lawyer. So he sent him some of his old books.
Really?
Well, and to add to that story, when I was in law school, I read a case, I think it was in tort law. He was a lawyer for the railroad, and there was a tort case where somebody had gotten injured, I think, on the railroad, and he had handled the case for the railroad. And I believe I made a copy of it, and I made a copy of it and give it to you and asked and told you to give it to him, and told him that I studied the case.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I think that's so amazing that he would want to know that about your family and then want to help your family. I don't know if that was a common thing back then.
I think the books were pretty much useless, but it was a nice gesture.
Right. Hey, we'll take that. It could be worse.
So one day I was coming in and he was on the phone and he was talking to somebody and he's like, you know, I got a nice, very intelligent maid.
That's right.
I should have asked this wall guy for a job. That didn't ever occur to me.
So we're at the family reunion and everyone's here, and obviously someone that we miss dearly this year is Auntie Bonnie. What were some of your fondest memories of your daughter Bonnie, outside of watching cartoons and naming Uncle Donald?
What's my favorite member of Donald?
No, Bonnie.
Oh, Bonnie? Oh, let me see, what's my favorite member? Bonnie. Oh, child, I don't know, I can't think now. I know she loved to cook. She loved to cook. And she could cook too.
Didn't she play the piano when she was young? Bonnie played the piano.
Oh yeah, she played piano for church too. You know, it's a party.
Yes.
You pay for that church.
She had a piano and she practiced all the time. She took lessons.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden, you know, she quit playing, you remember?
All right. So Grandma, you said you're 94 years old. That's a long life, and you have so much more to live. What's your secret? What's your secret to, is it keep on running around and all these kids running around? What's your secret to a long life?
I just try to do the best you can and don't try to hurt nobody else. And pray a lot. But I'll say.
Going back to Bonnie naming me, she liked to name people. Remember the guy at her funeral was talking about how she had named his children. She named Donita.
Really?
And now I found out, today I found out she named me. I never knew that before. Donald Gus. She named Shan?
Named everybody.
Okay.
So your childhood, Grandma, you remember any, you have any favorite memories from your childhood?
Oh, Lord. I don't know. Wait. Oh, you should have asked me that before I got this 94.
I know, so I'm trying to ask you now, because you're 94.
Yeah, you got more memories now.
That's right. Or even if it doesn't have to be childhood, but what are some of your fondest memories? Maybe it's maybe some memories of your kids. Like when I think about the house in Jacksonville, every time I go there, I can't believe everybody lived in this house. I mean, what about memories from that house off in Jacksonville Beach?
The memory of it?
Yeah, anything you remember?
Well, I remember the kids, I give them all the day to wash dishes, and Miss K, she would always get sick, you remember? She had allergies. She'd be doing fine until it was tough time to wash dishes.
Because Auntie K all of a sudden had asthma attack. And that's how Auntie Joy got stuck with the dishes. You know what I mean?
Hey, Joy, eat the dishes. Did you like jazz when we were
Oh,
growing
yeah.
up? Yeah.
Still do.
Yeah, and I have a love for jazz too, and I'm sure some of it comes from her, and Bonnie was a great
Yeah.
lover of jazz.
Wanted to too.
And there's pictures of you and Pop, dressed up, and they look like models from like the 1940s. The Pop had on like the zoot suit and the hats. And you could just look at this young couple and tell they were having a ball.
So were you guys dancing a lot? You guys go dancing? You and Grandpa
Yeah,
John?
yeah, we went dancing.
He was about a foot taller than she.
It's 2 feet.
Yeah.
And what kind of, so you like jazz, any jazz musicians, any jazz artists that you like the most?
Oh, shoot, I can't remember that
You
now.
told me you were a big fan of Billy Eckstine.
Oh, yeah,
Cab Calloway.
Yeah, and then, you know what? They used to come to St. Pete too, you know that?
Right.
Manhattan Casino.
Right.
And I
What's
would
the name
be
of the
there.
casino?
Come up with called the place, dance place. And I would be there, and, you remember George Cooper?
Yeah.
He was-
Well, is that the same guy as Buster Cooper, or is that a different Cooper?
That's his son.
Okay, I remember Buster. I don't remember George.
Buster's son. But he had a little band, and, his daddy was a friend of my daddy. And so me and him were friends. And all these big bands would come to the Manhattan Casino and him, and I could get him, go and get in there, and meet them all.
That was like the Manhattan Casino was on the chicken circuit.
Right, Manhattan
Gotcha.
Casino.
Gotcha. Did you ever think about doing music, or what did you want to be when you grew up? Did you want to be in cosmetology, or?
But I did that, you know. But I was going to go to college, but I didn't never make it. So I went to vocational school and got to be a physician.
So I think in some of the documents we saw today, you got as far as the 8th grade. Is that right? In your education? 11th grade?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, 11th grade. Did you guys travel when you were younger?
Yeah, we traveled on, me and Mama must travel on the bus. Yeah.
Did you ever go outside of Florida or outside of the
Yeah, I
United
went to
States?
Philadelphia. My aunt, my mama's baby sister was living in Philadelphia. And we used to go there to see her.
That's a far.
That's the only place out of Florida we went, other than in Florida. We used to go to Lakeland, Tampa, like that. I went to Miami once.
How'd you guys travel? By train or by car?
I went to Jacksonville on the train, and it took me all night to get down. No more. You remember that, Don?
Jacksonville.
Yeah, I went to Jacksonville. It took all night long for that train to get to Jacksonville. Other than St. Pete. Yeah.
Do you have a favorite place that you traveled to? I mean, did you like traveling to Philadelphia or?
Well, I was in my team, my early teen. It didn't matter. Yeah. But one time, that's when the war was on, and we was using the buses and the trains so bad we couldn't hardly get back home.
Oh wow.
And I think I was about 13, and me and my cousin, Mama was giving me the money to go down to the train station to get tickets, but they always sold out. And
Because of the war.
yeah, so it was. So one day, me and my cousin, his name was Sonny, we went there. So the man that was working there, he said, "Okay, I saved you 2 tickets." He gave me when I was about 16 or 17, he gave me a ticket for about a 13, a young child. And I didn't say nothing. I still couldn't get home.
Oh yeah.
And rode the train with it.
This is something that, just talking about the war, that's something that we as young people don't even think about. Do you know when the war was going on, her generation was actually alive. They didn't know if we were going to win the war or not. And we could have lost that war and everything would have been different now. And so we don't really think about, what they did and what, what they, she didn't go to war, but my daddy did and my uncle did. And there was no guarantee that we were going to win that war.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, can you imagine what life would have been like for black people on the Hitler? You think it's bad now?
Sure, it's sure been terrible.
That's a great perspective to give, Uncle Don. I'm wrapping up my questions, but I think we've got the kids here. So Uncle Don, Auntie Jet, my dad, Joy. Okay.
Kate is upstairs.
Kate's one upstairs. So I think one thing we want to do was do a testimony or a thanks, right, for Grandma, for all the kids. So I want everybody to kind of be thinking about that. Pop, Auntie Joy, anything that you want to say to Grandma? Somebody give Kay a heads up, if you don't mind, as we kind of wrap up the questions here. But Grandma, we're wrapping up. It's been such a pleasure. But I do want to again, while you're here, you're of sound mind, of great body. And I want to ask you just any advice that you would give us. You got a few generations here, your kids, your grandkids, great grandkids. Any advice that you give us your children?
Just try to live life right and pray a lot.
Amen.
And ask God to help you on everything.
Yes.
Like I do.
All right.
And protect all the children.
So protect the children.
Yeah.
That's under. I think that kind of falls into what Uncle Dion and Ashal talked about today, and it's our responsibility to do just that, spiritually and quite honestly physically as well. We want to keep them from harm in any way, shape, or form. So, with that, Uncle Donald, anything that you want to say or give thanks or just testimony for?
I just want to thank my mom for all of the sacrifices that she and my dad made in raising the six of us. She was a very loving, compassionate mother. She really had a skill in terms of raising children. None of her children have been in trouble, have been involved with drugs or anything like that. So obviously she was a successful nurturer and caregiver. And I understand that she made a lot of sacrifices for us to get through and to survive. And I think the thing that was, there's an old saying, that we were poor, but we didn't really know we were poor. We didn't realize we were poor. And I think that is because the parents have this ability to instill a sense of dignity to the circumstance, to the individual, and to whatever you're doing. And so when you have been given that sense of dignity and worth, you don't really, miss the material things or miss the material comfort. So I want to thank Mom for giving us that and instilling that in me and the rest of her children.
Thank you, Uncle Donald. Auntie Jet?
I want to thank Mom for caring for us, and she would always care and worry about us. Even now, when I get home, call me when you get home. So sometimes I forget to call, so she'll call me. You didn't call me. Well, I was going to. So you always know she's thinking about you. Well, I hate to say worry about you, but she does, and just want the best for you.
That's amazing. I don't know because I don't have kids, but I think the worrying never stops. And even at 94 years old, when your kids are grown and have kids and grandkids of their own, the worrying never stops. And that's just amazing. Pop, you want to step up real quick? You think on the camera? We got the camera going.
You can
Let me comb my hair.
Y'all get the joke when he gets in frame here.
Yeah, okay, take my seat.
Auntie Joy, can we squeeze in there too?
I thought she was there.
All right.
Look at that.
All still here. So, Pop, anything you want to say to your mom?
Well, just, ditto what everybody else has said, Donald and Jeff, I think already kind of covered, but what I remember the most is her being such a good provider. And we had that house over there, which we still have, 900 square feet, 6 bicycles in it, and everything else, and we didn't miss anything, toys, anything we asked for. I remember getting out the Sears catalog or the speakers catalog, going through our little wish list, and this is what we want, Mama, this is what we want, Pop, and they always would provide something good for us. And all the time I was gone overseas, different things, Mama always kept in touch, always sent us something, always trying to send us something for everybody's birthday and all the grandkids and kids or whatever. She's always, I'm not gonna do that anymore. Yeah, I gotta send them something. I gotta send them something. So she always provided for us, and she always set a good example. Her and Pop for the way we should live as kids, which we tried to do, and I always never want to disappoint her when I did something wrong. Hope she didn't find out, but I always wanted to make my mom proud and say, well, at least he didn't go to jail. He did something, and so they always told us, you know, the right thing to do. Always had us in church, and that can take you a long way. That foundation is good when you get away from home. Meet other people, other cultures, other religions. You have to fall back on yours, and they instilled that in us, and it kind of helped me stay focused. So that's why I love it.
Thank you, Pop. Auntie K.
All right. Are we talking about our tribute to our mom?
Tribute to your mom. I have something for you though. Do you know where you got your name?
I thought I got my name from my grandmother, my dad's side, Q-Mine. Q-Mine spelled her name with a K, but my mom would name it Q-Mine, so she took the K part.
I wish you would.
But the lowest was after her, of course. I like Q-Mine now, but I want to be called Q, but that didn't work out, so I'm just K.
That's right.
That's
So
what I think.
Grandma told that story. I think it
Mama didn't
was.
know her name was Kimon, she thought it was Kay.
So her mama.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So I'm sorry.
And then I have her middle name because her middle name is Lois. So I guess I'm named after my grandmother on my dad's side and her. But we were talking about what our mom means to us.
Yeah, just
Okay, you know I've been in the house probably the longest, so we're pretty tight. I know her very well, and apparently she knows me very well. But I can say that she has raised me and the rest of my siblings, anybody else, best that she can. I think she really loves us. We didn't have a lot of, I love you, but from actions we could tell that she loved you. So I appreciate her, of course. I'm thankful for her. I'm thankful for the foundation that we got. I'm thankful for all my siblings and all of my family. So I am just happy that she's still with us, and I pray that she's with us a few more years, even though she says she's not. But I think she can make 100 at least.
Yes, at least.
So we pray for that, and we are just grateful for her.
At least. Thank you.
Heard a quick beat. Is it still going?
Mm-hmm.
All right, we're good.
And then last but certainly not least, the baby,
Baby.
Well,
Auntie Joy.
I don't know where I got my name from. See, all of them was named after somebody.
Enjoy
Oh, wait a minute, I'm trying to think.
Sonia Joy.
Sonia Joy.
Sonia.
What name did you get?
I don't know how Joy got her.
If you're happy, she can be the last one.
That's
Joy.
right.
Hallelujah.
But I love my mom. I'm so thankful for her for helping me with my children and my grandchildren. And she still do it, 94 years old. She helped with keep on and Adriana. And I know coming up, I probably gave her a run for her money because I love to go. I would lie. See, I'm going somewhere else. I'd be all over the other side of town.
That kind of remind me of somebody else. Get the camera. Cameraman. You know, there's somebody that remind me.
That's where I get it from. I know it.
Yeah, I was sending this girl to the store to get something to cook, and waiting on her to come back. She come back about an hour or two or what later.
I be on my bicycle from Jacksonville Beach to Atlantic.